Today I fucked up by knitting on the buzz. I have recently been working on a double knitted blanket. This is a technique where two colors are knitted at the same time and end up on opposite sides of the workpiece, but can be carried across to form a pattern. Not mine but a good example. One of the colors I am using is black. I was on the bus busily knitting away, and as I was bringing another color across, I was talking to myself under my breath, going through my pattern: one more red, then the black needs to go to the back. Unbeknownst to me, as I was paying attention to my work, not my surroundings, right as I was saying that last part, a man with high levels of melanin got on and sat in the seat in front of me. As you could imagine, this caused a significant negative reaction from the aforementioned man. Now from my point of view, I was minding my own business when somebody else starts accusing me of being a racist out of nowhere. I was a tad confused, and it took a minute for me to realize what had happened, which just got the melanin man even more irate, and everybody is now looking at me as the man yells at me soon as I sit down in front of you. You say that the black needs to go to the back and then have the cheek to ask how you're being racist. It was at this point that the penny dropped, and I hastily explained the situation, which fortunately resolved the issue. Too long didn't read, said something benign that sounded racist out of context, and was nearly kicked off a bus for it. Do we get to see your blanket? ? Oh no, that's hilarious. I can imagine the horror. I'm so sorry, smiley face. Did he laugh though? Cause I would laughed once it was explained. Wow, that could have went really bad. Good thing you explained it. TBH, I was expecting like the bus hitting a bump and you impaling yourself or some. This is better lol. This is hilarious. I'm pretty sure it's okay to just say a black man and not a man with high levels of melanin, no? As a black person, it's better to just say a black or African American instead of high level melanin. Today I fucked up by leaving my sex toys in the kitchen, leading to my mom fainting and throwing over $500 of sex toys away. Obligatory. This happened a few months ago. I live at home with parents, and share a room with my younger sister, we'll call her Sophie. I had locked my bedroom door as I was masturbating during the day with my sex toys out. It's fairly rare to get privacy to do this, so I'd been locking my door often lately. However, it's just a child safety lock, so can be unlocked from outside. I was showing a friend the toys I have, so I took them all out to take a picture of them and left them on the floor in a bag beside my bed. I'd say it was a fairly impressive collection, as I'd saved up money a while and used sales to get them all half price. So really they were worth $800, though I'd paid half of that. I don't really spend money on anything, rarely food or clothes. As my parents provide everything, I am grateful. So I felt I could justify using that amount of my savings from working part-time and summers. What I can remember is that I had a Lush Lavance, a bullet vibrator, a rabbit vibrator, 2 silicone dildos, a glass dildo, nipple clamps, labia clamps, a paddle. I kept the vibrator and dildo out and was using it to masturbate when Sophie tried to come in, but the door was locked, so I told her to wait as I was changing my clothes. It was midday, something like 3 p.m., so she was not pleased. She's fairly young, so whined at this and went to my mom to complain. I'd been locking the door more lately, and she was frustrated she couldn't get into the room when she wanted to. I think my mom was suspicious at this, as Sophie had been complaining more often lately. So my mom came storming upstairs and demanded to be let in as she started to unlock the door. In my rush I shoved the dildo and vibrator under my blanket and opened the door. My mom came in and declared that my room is messy and that she must clean it. I told her that I am an adult and can clean it myself, but she was adamant that I'd left it messy too long, so she had to clean it. She wouldn't leave my room and started scurrying about. I'm pretty sure she was suspicious of me and knew I was hiding something, so she was trying to find what I was hiding. The entire time I was cautious to stay sitting on my bed, in way of the slightly bump of the vibrator and dildo as I slowly pushed them to be under my pillow every time she looked away. I hoped she wouldn't look inside my bag with the toys in it. She went out the room momentarily, and I grabbed my toys and threw them in the bag in a rush, then casually zipping the bag. I don't know if she saw any of this, but I then picked up the bag and took it downstairs. I needed to hide it, but where? I could hide it in the coat closet, but I'm not sure when I could take it out, And what if someone else took it out to use it? Also, I wouldn't be able to monitor it. Then I had the marvelous idea to hide it in plain sight, leave it at the kitchen table, where everyone can see it. They'll know it's my bag so they won't look inside of it. No one looks into my things. And then I can keep an eye on it and be reassured that no one has seen it. What a stupid idea. About an hour later I heard my parents arguing. My mom was on the couch shouting at Dad. She was crying as she shouted at Dad. My older sister, we'll call her Kate, tried to intervene, questioning why my mom is upset, and asking Dad to explain what he must have done. Dad said your mom is upset as she just found out your sister needs a man. That made my alarm bells go off. My bag was still on the kitchen table though. I can see the table from the couch. I went to pick it up and it felt lighter. I look inside, and I saw a vibrator and dildo missing. But surely I just forgot about them upstairs. I went back up and took the sex toy bag with me. I hid it where I usually do, in my wardrobe, and checked my bed, but couldn't find the missing toys. I then had the worry that my parents had found it, so I went to my parents' room and checked there. Under my mom's pillow was my vibrator, embarrassed smiley face. At this point I wasn't sure if they'd found this in my bed or if they'd found the bag, as the bag had been unmoved. Them finding the bag would be cataclysmic. My parents are super religious sex-negative people, and I wasn't sure how they'd react if they found my toys. It was bad enough they found the vibrator. I came back down to see my mom in hysterics, still crying. I wanted to comfort her but I wasn't sure if I was the reason she was crying. She started screeching and hyperventilating, and all us siblings were terrified as we didn't know what to do and thought she was going to have some sort of attack. She then suddenly went quiet, her eyes shut and she went limp. Mom, are you okay? We asked her to respond but she didn't. I shook her a bit. She was breathing, just quiet and limp, so I assumed she was tired from crying or angry at me and didn't want to talk to me. Kate told me to go on a walk with her and leave my sister with Mom. So I did. My mom later told me she fainted, and she expressed anger at us not staying with her. She fainted because she was so shocked and distressed at finding out I have toys. On this walk Kate explained that my mom had found all of the toys. My mom was angry that my dad was sleeping in, so she'd gone up to him as he was sleeping and threw my vibrator on his sleeping face. Gross. That was why they were arguing. My mom is quite dramatic. I've often said she could be cast as a poor misunderstood Disney villain. That explained why the vibrator was in their room. Sophie was incredulous that I had so many toys. What's wrong with you? Why do you have so many? She asked. Told her how much they cost and she was shocked and judging my spending habits. I don't understand why it's such a shocker. People spend that much money on 30 days out eating out. I just used them on a long-term investment for years to come, and obviously wouldn't need to buy more again. It's worth all the orgasms. Also, I can't come properly with hands and just get increasingly desperate and reckless without toys. I came home later and the next day saw that my toys had all disappeared. All of them. My mom had scrounged my room for them and found them and threw them away. I spoke to my mom, who was extremely vitriolic. She told me it's wrong, I need to find a man to get married, and she told me that I have an addiction. She really emphasized how she thinks I have an addiction. She said I am so ashamed to have you as my daughter. We speak another language as our first language, and she switched to English to say that single line to super emphasize it. That stung. Many other painful words were said. I felt disgusted at her trying to control what I do with my own body. Anyways, obviously I cannot live without toys, so I got them again. I spent around $120 on it. So as I get more I get better with saving money on what I really want, so in this collection I got 6 butt plugs, 3 gags, 1 was a penis mouth gag, relevant later, a dildo, vibrator, lingerie and ropes. This time I wasn't so cautious about hiding them, as the cat was out the bag, and my mum can't be more ashamed of me now anyways. I kept them in a drawer under my bed. That was another stupid mistake. I do regret that. My mum found and threw them away. Duh. Who'd have thought? Before I'd even had the chance to use most of them. I guess she was now on the lookout for toys in my room. However, this time she didn't say anything. I just saw my drawer was slightly ajar and opened it to see most things no longer there. I went up to her and questioned her with vague words. Why did you look through my things and throw them away? She said she threw away things that are not safe, as things that go inside and in the wrong hole especially are unsafe and wrong. But she left the safe things. I assume she meant that rope and lingerie is safe. But she threw my gags away. I said some were mouth things, so not unsafe in anyone's books. She sneered and made a derisive comment about penis gags and how weird it is. Oh god. I just slinked away in embarrassment. I'm not gonna argue to be allowed to keep penis gags. My mum also told me she traveled elsewhere to throw the toys away, so I can't fish them out of our bin. WTF, she thinks I'd fish my toys out the bin. Rolling eyes face. Her making decisions over what is safe or not for my body makes me so angry. It's my body, I can do what I want. It makes me want to do reckless things just to spite her. But I know that's stupid, so not gonna do it. So, I wanted toys again. I'm persistent, maybe I do have an addiction, embarrassed smiley face. But I have no place to keep them. I decided a safe would be a good place to hide them. Related important fact, in our house money often disappears. I've had collectible coins disappear as well as any cash I keep in my room. In the past, both Kate and Dad, separately, have been caught for stealing. Recently my parents said it's my fault for not keeping things safe, even though it's in my room, and mockingly suggested I get a safe. So I started to lean into this and said it's a good idea. I brought it up a few times over the course of a few weeks to plant the seed. I then asked my mom to pay for a safe for me, and she said yes. I researched into safes and found a good one online, then got my mum to buy it for me. After I got the safe, I ordered more toys. I got my favorite vibrator, which I have now bought 3 times. Sigh, and some other toys. I had to get them delivered to the mail building and had to go collect them, then hide them in a bag under my clothes as I came home and rushed to my bedroom. Felt like a spy. So now I keep my toys in a safe my mom got me. The safe has a numerical keypad lock and the passcode is 7,398,697, which is the phone word for sex toys. Hungry face. No one has found the toys in them, and hopefully no one ever will. I have won the war. Finally. TL, Doctor, I left my sex toys in plain sight and my religious parents found them. My mom threw my vibrator at my dad's sleeping face, then fainted and later threw all the toys away. I bought more toys and again fucked up by keeping them in an obvious place. She found and threw them away again. I'm nothing if persistent, so I got toys again but finally got a safe to keep them in. Edit, details. I'm glad there's a 69 in sex toys. Sorry your mom sounds difficult to deal with and I hope you find a place where she can accept you. Haha, it is definitely a memorable code, thank you! Exclamation mark. I would cry if someone threw my lush away. Hopefully a conversation with your mom will help her understand it's actually healthy that you are using safe ways to be sexual. I'm sorry for your loss. I don't think a conversation will fix this situation. I find it ironic how someone can receive dick sauce within their vagina and still stigmatize sex. It's almost as ironic as that mother who covers the eyes of her 12 children when someone is kissing nearby. Little do her children know, their mother is a master smasher. Today I fucked up by studying on my bed. Obligatory happened 9 years ago when I was a studying before last minute of the exam student. There I was, on my bed, trying to soak in all the knowledge I can before the night of the exam. I must have fallen asleep at some point in the night as I was studying, while the lights and the fan continue to be on. Don't ask me how, I can barely go to sleep these days even in complete darkness and silence. At one point during the night, the main power to my area was cut off and, living in a tropical climate, I was woken up in my own pool of sweat. Here's where it gets interesting, I was asleep in such weird position that my entire right arm had gone numb. So as I woke up and tried to move around figuring what happened, my hand of the dead arm somehow got lodged into my my mouth and my mind went into overdrive. My first thoughts are, why am I so sweaty? Why is the room dark? And who the hell is trying to cover my mouth? I kept thinking someone is out here to get me in my room and they've switched off all the lights so they can't be seen. After those 10 seconds of fighting, in the dark, and trying to scream, I feel tingling across my dead arm as the blood flows into it and realized I was fighting my own stupid arm. I pulled it out of my mouth and realized what had happened. Goddamn, still the most scary few seconds of my life. Too long didn't read, slept in a weird position which made one of arms dead and woke up to find it lodged in my mouth and fighting with my own self thinking someone was out to get me.